This is a session to show that how the 3D maps would actually work and what has the progress been so far with it. So going back to the maps, what I've done is I've taken this magnet I've given to me by Ranjit. After that, I've used edge detection or basically color detection in it and made it into an SVG file. Once that SVG file was saved and separately as a different file, I imported the very same SVG file and then implemented it in Blender. So I was able to create a 3D mesh of sorts with a little bit of accuracy. The only problem that I'm encountering right now as of uh, with the mesh, that is with this whole mesh, is that in between there are certain points. Sorry, just a minute. As you can see, there are certain points in between that are not required or are being beveled out along with the mesh. So which can be sorted, but it will require manual input from the user or from the 3D artist, whoever is designing this 3D mesh. So for example, one of the major problems is like over here in the maps, there was an auditorium. So this part, this X part, needs to be removed for the navigation to be working properly, which can be done which can be done in if I go into edit mode. If I just do this and I select all the points and I remove it, so it can be done like that. The only problem is then I'll have to select out all the points separately and make the entrances separately, which will take a little bit more time. But I have still made like a mesh which is 70 to 80% accurate. Now, after creating a 3D model in Blender, what I've done is I've imported it in Unity, which is over here. After importing it in Unity, what I've done is I've used NavMesh, which is for the navigation software. And what I've done is for a player or for a first person perspective is over here is a character. Just let me fix it in the inspector if I can. So if I zoom out or zoom in, that is, and I look for, sorry, yeah. So I'm uh, I'm trying to bring the user to a particular perspective so that something can be done about it. So let's say if I tell the user not to follow anything for the time being, what I've done is I've actually navigated the user to the auditorium target over here, which is here. So this is where the user will automatically go to. But since, as you can see, it's very blocked by pathways within the mesh, there is no entrances within the 3D diagram. So the user will get stuck. So let's say if I go into the testing mode of things, it will go there, but eventually it will get stuck. It can't go through the mesh, and that will create a problem. It has stopped there at the wall. So the mesh and or the navigation part in general is working. Only problem is that we need a proper 3D sort of like a beveled out model of it, which I do have a couple of solutions in hand. One of them is instead of using color detection, we can use edge detection and probably look for a simpler diagram of sorts so that when we implement it in Unity, it will be easier to uh, like navigate, or like simpler to like interact with. The third and final method is to manually edit out like the points within the Blender itself, and then bevel out the 3D map so that there are particular entrances and all as per the map. So what we can do with the Magnet app is, like, let's say if this mesh is created and we make it big enough within the graphics engine that it is able to follow it to the very uh, to the very accurate unit measurement, then the navigation part can work and it will work. And once all this is done, I can create a build and eventually go ahead with it. So for the timing, this is it. And I would like to hear what other solutions or things you have to offer, uh, s- so that we can improve upon this and actually make this possible. One suggestion that I do have in mind is to use Deloitte's designer team so that they can help us with the 3D meshes, and all we need to do is work on the scripts. I've even worked on the map navigation part, that the map will automatically follow the player as and when he moves along with it. So over here in the orthographic camera, if I go into the inspector, so depending where the person is, the map will change. And as he navigates the script, or as he navigates the area, if let's say I remove this in the first person perspective, I disable the script and I enable the player controller. So over here, let's say if I select some place within this, so as you can see, the map is moving along with the player. So that problem I solved, which Ranjit had suggested me, that as the person is navigating the map, they should be able to, the map should move ahead with them, so the person has a general idea as to where to go. So while that part is clearly working, my problem is with the mesh. My problem is with the 3D designing part. I'm hoping that you have something to suggest over this. Maybe that could speed up the problem solving process. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope this video was worth all the effort. For the timing, I'll stop.